Actually, our story started from campus. I never thought I'll become an entrepreneur in my life.
Okay.
Most of our employees were telling that they are not working in Genrobotics. They don't say that. Rather, they say they work in Technopark. Initially, I couldn't tell my story without talking about Kerala Startup Mission and the people behind it.
Four friends coming together to form a club, and then that turning into a revolutionary organization in robotics.
Those friends came up with their researches and commercialized their ideas into various technologies, and they helped developed and underdeveloped countries to attain a sustainable growth.
And that is Genrobotics. And today, on the second episode of the Technopark podcast, we have Vimal Govind. We have the co-founder and CEO of Genrobotics. Hi Vimal.
Thank you so much.
Welcome Vimal to our
Thank you so much. Great to be here.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I mean, it is our pleasure to be hosting you. So Vimal, the first question that I have for you is, how did you get to meet the four co-founders and get to the idea of creating something like Genrobotics?
Actually, our story started from campus. I never thought I'll become an entrepreneur in my life.
Okay.
I always thought that I'll do something for the nation. That is there from the beginning. My father is from army, so I was really inspired with what he does in the army. So my whole objective and the choice of my education and everything I did initially to become like him, to work in the armed force. Then what happened is, like, suddenly I find that passion in engineering. I choose engineering because engineering is having more opportunity to get into different type of armed force. So that was my decision, reason behind it. Then I find I have a certain kind of inclination towards the engineering. Initially I find it with mechanical engineering, then I find it with computer science and electronics also. But in fact, unfortunately, we can only study one of the engineering streams. So, but with little sadness in my mind, I chose mechanical engineering. And then I find there's something even in mechanical engineering where I can, get in love with computer science and electronics. That is robotics.
Which college did you go to?
MES Engineering College, Kuttipuram.
Okay, nice.
Along with all these things I was doing, I also had this passion of social service. As I mentioned, since I want to work for the nation, I was thinking of why we need to wait for get a job. I can even start from the campus itself through platforms like NSS, National Service Scheme. So this is the platform where I met my other co-founders also. They also had the similar interest. Initially we did smaller things like, helping people in old age home, delivering food, and even, doing the plantation, like putting trees and all. I won't say these are small things, but from a perspective of an engineer, he can do better, right? So that's why, otherwise there is nothing wrong with the action. So the exact similar thought happened after doing certain elements of this plantation and everything. The initial stone of Genrobotics is actually laid in our campus. We created a club, Genrobotics Solutions.
Oh wow.
So that's how we started. And the club intention was to use our technical skill to help the society. And then again, the passion in army came into it again. And we thought of creating a suit for the armed force.
Wow.
Just like in the movie Iron Man. So initially I feel that was not a well formulated thought, it rather inspired from passion, and we were not well understood about the limitation of the whatever we can do in different perspective, like finance, in the perspective of technology, in the perspective of manufacturing and all that. But the passion was too immense, so we actually surpassed most of the limitations. And we created a first exoskeleton. Exoskeletons are like a wearable suit that you can put it on your body, and this will give you extra physical enhancement. So you can lift heavy weights, just like in the Iron Man suit. We were not able to make the suit fly till the research which were happening, but most of the things like lifting heavy weights and everything we achieved in our college, and that is also we achieved with the very least amount. The first suit we created is with 25,000 rupees.
Wow.
That's great.
Like a working Iron Man suit. And the second suit, which is able to lift around 100 kg, we created with 50,000 rupees. So the point was we were finding ways to use the resources that we are having and create something valuable even from the campus itself. And after we create this technology, that's how the story become very serious. We created a paper, and this research paper is been we sent to different type of research organizations, and it is got selected in American Society for Research in a conference which is held in Singapore.
Okay.
That's where everything is become very serious, because we were there presenting our paper from India, and there were a lot of other people from different part of the globe, including Japan, US, the advanced countries where robotics is really in advanced state. They were also there, and we present the paper, and finally in that research conference, our paper is selected as the best paper for that year. So that is the time we realized that whatever we does over here is having a international competence.
Acclaim, yeah.
We would like to know that how has the Technopark IT ecosystem helped you to hire, recruit talented people into Genrobotics?
I think in the beginning of our journey, most of our employees were telling that they are not working in Genrobotics. They don't say that. Rather, they say they work in Technopark. Initially, then it is shifted. They're really now proud to say they work in Genrobotics. So when we were very small, where nobody is really realizing what we are doing, that time the brand that we had is Technopark, and that is really essential, because I feel right now most of the people, specifically after millennials, maybe millennials also in generation category, they really want to have a great experience. Building a great experience, being very small, specifically from a middle class family without a lot of investment backing, is impossible without Technopark. So I would say Technopark is that experience, and it's that brand where societally, even in the ecosystem, it's well reputed, and that reputation and experience is something invaluable to the people.
True.
Specifically to the new generation, and obviously in that aspect Technopark is helped really in a great way. Second point, obviously the location that Technopark is being very close to the airport and even to the railway and all that, where it is easy for our clients to also come and reach into the ecosystem, and obviously the safety that the Technopark ecosystem is providing.
Have you had any mentorship from the people in this ecosystem to help you in building Genrobotics the way it is today?
Obviously, talking about a specific person, rather than that, I feel collectively the ecosystem is inspired. I couldn't tell my story without talking about Kerala Startup Mission and the people behind it, and even the Kerala Startup Mission idea came from Startup Village idea. So from that point itself, it's inspired into the development of ecosystem.
Correct.
And this is actually came to our campus, and like in the form of IDC, and I believe that is my first time I'm hearing the word entrepreneurship itself. It's a platform, or it's a kind of an idea where people can approach problems in a very free manner rather than without any restrictions, and that is something we needed in order to use our skill sets, in order to use our mind, which is into solving a problem, for really solving a problem. So that idea is helped in that sense, and from that onwards, Kerala Startup Mission and then Future Lab. Initially that hub is actually helped us on developing the prototype, and we've been incubated into that. Through that Kerala Startup Mission ecosystem, we got the privilege to be here in Technopark.
So I just want to know that what were the primary challenges you have faced during the early stage of Genrobotics?
The first most primary challenge, believing in the idea of entrepreneurship. That's where IDC and Startup Mission had a greater role, and then I believe getting into clients and identifying the problem in a very detailed manner. So I would say, if I talk about the problems, I feel we have to create a podcast full of problems. But the point is, entrepreneurship is all about fell in love with problem solving, and somehow the team and entire team Genrobotics and most of the leadership we are having right now, I tell them, you should fall in love with solving the problems. And I would say, even yesterday also I was speaking to the team, it's not about the revenue, it's not about how far we scale it, it's always about creating something which is valuable.
Correct.
And fell in love with doing that process, creating something valuable. So I would say Genrobotics is an idea which came from 0 to 1. That's the first step. 0 to 1 is normally a concept which is being used in the ecosystem. So we are facing that again. we are very good at creating 0 to 1, and that's why we went on and create another solution in the disability sector, into the medical. So now we have that, and we also created another 0 to 1 in refinery, and we are still creating more 0 to 1 because we are good at 0 to 1, and we are still learning 1 to 100, the scaling part of it. So we are putting our effort into it. So the point is, again, new problem. That's something I love, because I don't want to solve the repeated problems again and again. So I want to have new problems. So new problems are actually one side of the story. The opportunity, when you solve the problem, whatever knowledge you are getting, whatever the understanding you will be having, so that is valuable.
That keeps you going.
Yeah.
So, what are the steps you have taken to build a passionate team in Genrobotics?
So, as I mentioned, we haven't studied any particular team management techniques or anything. It's more like we evolved from 4 people, and then it became 8, and then it became 40, and then now it's almost like in the range of 400. So that's the scaling we have done, and throughout this journey, the only thing we are following is that finding people with the passion. So then you don't need to put a lot of effort on managing them. We launched an industry on campus in Palakkad, in a polytechnic, where we created a production center inside the campus with the support of government only. They are able to make this kind of schemes where the industry can go to campus. So just like the way that we came from campus, so we know how people think, specifically what need to be done in order to make most out of it. So that optimized version we are now running inside the polytechnic campus also. So similarly, we have done another program in Muatupuzha. This is our expansion strategy actually.
Got it.
One of the expansion strategy, and where we are now again running around 15,000 square feet building, where our R&D is there, research and development happening in a campus. So this is the way we are approaching to it. But my point here is, again, obviously robotics and AI is new and continuously evolving, and the point, in order to tap that knowledge and use into a kind of solutions or product, the only way is that we need people with passion in that, and they should have that learning mindset inherently inside them, not like forcing them to do something.
Where do you see Genrobotics in the next 5-10 years down the line?
The next target is to bring this AI from mobile phone and computers to the real world. Our focus is more to put robotics and AI seamlessly into the niches where it's really needed for the welfare of somebody. 3 years down the line, we have the plans to completely eradicate manual scavenging and put the disability segment product to accessible to the people for the rehabilitation in the next 2-3 years. In so most of the hospitals, there are we identified a couple of hospitals in India. Overall, we have more than 45,000 hospitals chains in different things in India. Out of that, 1,000 is immediately able to use the robot. So targeting all that. And G-Gaiter also, in a very short period of time, it become internationally competitive product actually, and much superior than most of the competitors internationally we are having. So the technology we are having now is superior and also cost efficient and internationally competent also. So within 3 years, exporting all this into the other part of the world is also a target.
Wow.
What was the story behind the G-Gaiter pediatric?
It's been now more than 300 plus patients is get treatment on that device, and more than 6-7 hospital chains in Kerala have been using it for the last 2 years. And in G-Gaiter does what you may be having that doubt. So what G-Gaiter does is, like, when people experience spinal cord injury, cerebral palsy, or any kind of diseases which affect our motor functions, which require treatment in neuro rehabilitation. That means we are relearning the nervous system, including the brain, to work on a different way to create a new neural pathways to handle the deterioration or improve the deterioration. Even with the stroke also, people once experience stroke. Stroke is one of the biggest problem right now. Temporarily the body will get disabled, and creating a neural network is essential in order to get the body's full function back. So that's what G-Gaiter does. And specifically in this entire neuro rehabilitation therapy, gait training, that means walking training, is the most complex, because walking we do it very simply, but it's very complex in terms of control of muscles and joints. And physically, neuro rehabilitation normally does in most of the hospitals physically, manually. And a grown-up person, teaching him to how to walk is a very difficult process. And the quality on the walking pattern nobody will get, because nobody can actually control each and every movement of our limbs in order to create a proper gait. But by the use of robotics, thanks to robotics and AI also, we could able to do it in a very efficient manner. So that's what G-Gaiter adds to the rehabilitation. And in the 2 years timeline, now it's affordable and superior than the foreign competitors. And in many situations, our products started outsmart, the scenario.
Most people are fear about losing their jobs by automation as well as AI. So how can we educate the common people about the benefits of robotics?
I will not say that artificial intelligence will not take over jobs or anything. It is happening already. We have options to be a part of the change. Maybe we can resist the change. But I feel there is a different way of thinking about this problem, and it's in a little more higher perspective. Actually, we have more than 8 billion people in Earth, and this is sustained because of the industries developed in the industrial era. So in order to handle this, definitely we need to have advanced tools, and AI is an advanced tool. AI is actually helping to reduce the cost in overall ways, because automation does that. In automation, the purpose of automation itself is to reduce the cost, so the goods and resources will be available to people at a lower cost. So my point is that at a point of time where you talk about the full automation, so again we have to ask the question here philosophically, why we work. That question is also there, right? So when we ask why we work, most of the people work because they want to survive for resources, right? And if the resources are so cheap, why we need to work?
Exactly.
So but actually when I seen ChatGPT also, ChatGPT first time I experienced was like panic attack. Because my problem was, I seen that is so perfect and above almost all the expectation, and I've seen that one day I don't need to work.
Exactly.
So because I was a workaholic person, I feel great meaning in work. I don't want to work because rather than for the sake of the work, but I see great meaning in the work, and suddenly that meaning is going away. Even without myself, this automation can do that. So that was my concern. So but I feel how do we do running in the gym? Maybe for the mind thing, we can go to a gym and do the work, even it is not necessarily add any value to the society in the future.
It was a great conversation, Vimal, and thank you so much for your time. We do need a wish from you to our viewers, since it's the new year. So what is it that we are to expect this year from you?
Actually, this is going to be a big year for us. So where mostly we will cross the 100 crore revenue target this year. It's going to be an exciting time for us. And then the biggest thing that we are going to do this financial year, since the target is this, we will be launching one more production center in Palakkad.
Okay.
Will be our state-of-the-art technology. So far we haven't invested a lot into setting up production centers. So we understood that as we ventured into the medical technology, this demands very high quality, advanced production centers. So we are already in the manufacturing, building construction phase right now. That will be the biggest landmark, and we are going to launch 2 more portfolio products. One is a very advanced product, that is going to be the topic for most of the people who's interested in technology. Not just in social.
You're not going to reveal that now, are you?
I don't want to do that right now.
That is a complete.
Okay.
Here in this space where we even got a giant player in the AI space too signed up with us. So before March we will get into an MOU, and that is going to be happening this year. And then last but not least, we also launch a refinery portfolio again, and that is much needed in refinery, where we are already working with IOCL. They are also a part of the research and development with us. So that product also launched this year. So these are overall things.
That's a lot for
We are
an year.
definitely happy to hear from you. Genrobotics is to be happening from Technopark itself.
Yeah.
So we are also happy.
That's anyways, thank you so much, Vimal. We had a wonderful time
Nice meeting you. Vidhi.
having this
And
conversation.
thank you
with
so much for the
Thank you so
discussion.
much.
Thank you, Ashwati.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So that's Ashwati and Mithun signing out. Thank you.
Thank you.